participation trophies. A bill in North Carolina would ban all participation trophies, and I love it, and I think you will love it. Basically, there are three politicians that want to eliminate the participation trophy, and I think we should get rid of it 150%. They want to give out trophies to people that have earned them. They want leagues to stop giving out a trophy or a ribbon to kids for just showing up, and they want it to be merit-based. They want it to be, quote, given out to people that identify performance, that have the win identifies performance achievements. You have to be a winner to get something. Closers get coffee. No coffee for you if you're not winning. It's a huge problem in the United States of America. This is Spazzing Out, America's podcast. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora. Listen, wherever you get your podcast, you can get my podcast, and I do it live. I do it on YouTube. I do it on Twitch. I do it on Rumble. Sometimes I switch Twitch to Twitter, but I'm always doing it on YouTube as long as I don't get banned, and I'm always doing it on Rumble. I might not do it on Rumble that much longer because I don't really do so well on the Rumbles. Most views I get are always on Spotify. Huge audience on Spotify. Thank you to my Spotify peeps. Close to 10,000 streams or views or whatever you want to call it every time I upload a podcast. I should do it more often, but I'm so goddamn lazy that I don't. Or I'm busy doing other things. But simple. Here's the concept. Participation trophies are a nightmare. They're giving away, they're teaching kids that you don't have to work hard to be successful. They're teaching a generation of kids, women, of men and women, or I guess they're boys and girls, to believe that all they need to do is be there to get the trophy. And parents love it. There are these parents that think it's the greatest thing. Their kid sucks, but yet he goes home with a trophy. Their kid's a bum, but yet she goes home with the ribbon. There are no winners anymore. There's no first place, second place, third place. There's nothing. There's none of that. And if there is places, everybody wins. If you're in a wrestling tournament and there are 8 kids in the bracket, there are 8. There's 1 through 8. There's not just a winner anymore. God forbid you give out an MVP award for the most dominant player, for the most valuable player. Everybody needs an award. Little boys need them, and little girls, they need it for their confidence. Now, little boys and little girls need to realize, and they need to learn at a young age, that if you want to be successful, you have to work hard to be the best. You have to put your heart and soul behind something. You have to have determination. You do have to show up every day at practice. And you need to work hard every single day to become the best you possibly can so that you can win the championship. Whether it's a team sport or individual sport, you don't get the championship unless you win. Could you imagine if Tom Brady had to give back? Imagine if Tom Brady had to give back one of his 7 rings. You know what, Tom? There are teams that haven't won Super Bowls. Unfortunately, we're going to have to give your ring to one of those quarterbacks. Hey, Michael Jordan, buddy, we know you're the best ever, but you're going to have to give one of the rings away. Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson, sorry, you're going to have to give one of your belts to somebody else listen. I mean, he's never won a professional boxing match, but he shows up every single day. We're going to give him the title. It's like what my podcast, I mean, great, dude. I would love it if it worked out for my podcast. I mean, I work my ass off on doing the podcast. It'd be great if I demand millions of dollars in advertising for my podcast that doesn't even come fucking close to Joe Rogan's. But because I show up every day, because I participate, I demand millions of dollars. You see how ridiculous that sounds? You got to show up and put in the work. And we're teaching kids that that's not what they need to do. And this is what happens when they're 7 and when they're 8 and they think that all they have to do is show up. Well, when they become older, right, they go to high school, they think, oh, I just need to be here to get an A. I showed up to the SATs, right? So I get a 1600. Are we giving out participation scores? Everybody goes to Harvard. Everybody goes to Yale. It doesn't happen like that. Kids need to learn at a young age. At a young age, there needs to be competition to have successful, strong adults in the future. The United States of America will go downhill if we cease to have competition. If we cease to tell people you get rewards if you win. We cannot reward people that lose. They won't work hard. They won't show up. They will think that they should just get money and food and a house and a life without fucking working for it. And the issue with that is when my son's kids become adults, it's over. When my son's kids become adults, a country from the Middle East is going to walk over to the United States of America and they're going to go, this is now the Middle East. We're taking this. And all those kids are going to go, oh, okay. Because they're not going to do anything about it. They're not going to have to fight. They're going to think they're going to have everything handed to them. And this is what bosses can't deal with. It's already happening. You have kids that get out of college that think they deserve a job. Let me tell you something. While I went to college, when I was at UMass Lowell and I was at Middlesex Community College, I worked in radio overnight. That's how I got a full-time job when I graduated, because I had been working at the radio station at Entercom when I was 18. So I worked at 18, 19, 20 for 3 fucking years. And luckily enough, there was a job available when I got out of college. But I would have worked harder. I would have worked longer. You don't just get something. You don't just show up and get top dollar. You have to earn top dollar. It's the same thing with the people that complain about making minimum wage. Minimum wage jobs are not jobs that were created to live off of. There are jobs for high school kids, college kids, and seniors, or for someone who wants to make a part-time income to supplement what they're already making. Or they're a get your foot in the door job. Part-time jobs are not meant to support a family. They're meant to give you an opportunity to prove yourself so that you can better yourself and work to get more money. But unfortunately, because everybody gets a trophy, everybody thinks they win. Well, the kids think that they should ultimately, the kids think that immediately out of college, they should be making $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year. It's not fair that this other guy's making that kind of money. I mean, I know he worked harder than me. I know he's smarter than me. I know he's really good, but I should get it too, right? No, wrong. So I applaud this. I think this is fantastic. These North Carolina lawmakers are protecting they're protecting the integrity of the United States of America. They're saying we've had enough of this BS where we just give people something and they've done nothing to deserve it. They didn't put in the effort. They didn't put in the determination. They didn't put in the persistence. They didn't do the grind. So they don't get the reward. It's simple. My podcast will not be a top-rated podcast if I don't put in the work. So when I only do it once a week or when I only do it every 2 weeks, I don't deserve the accolades. I don't deserve the advertising. I don't put in the effort. But if I did, it would take years, and I will. I mean, I'll get around, dude. I'm trying to put in the effort. I have a life that I have to put together first. But the point is, I don't expect to wake up someday and have the #1 podcast in America. I don't expect someday to wake up and be like, oh, you know what? I got a Joe Rogan type podcast, because I don't put in that kind of effort. I don't put in enough effort to be #1. So therefore, I don't deserve it. And that's what these politicians are saying. They want to teach America and say, look, we have to go back to a time when young kids in sports win first place, win MVPs for actually winning. Showing up is good. It's part of it. You should be there every single day. You should go to practice every day. And then after practice, you should practice more if you want to be elite. But you can't just think, and I can't stand the parents that think that oh, my kid deserves a trophy. It's like karate. You pay $2,000 a year for your kid to go to karate, and parents think, oh, yeah, he should just get a belt. They shouldn't do that shit. If you don't pass the test, you don't get the belt. If you don't win the match in wrestling, you don't get an award. If you don't win the game in football, you fucking lose. And I think kids need to lose more than they need to win. So many important things happen when you lose, and when you lose and don't receive something for it. I have been so motivated in my life so many times when I've lost, and I've lost a lot, dude. Trust me. I'm a fucking bona fide bum. I am a bum. I am the bummiest bum. I have been on the losing end of a fucking ton of things, and I've learned from it, and it's driven me to be better. It's taught me first thing first, it's taught me how to lose. Because people that win all the time and win, I'm happy for them. They don't know how to lose with sportsmanship. They don't know how to handle when they lose. They have a fit because they've always won. But when you lose all the time, like myself, and I don't want you to lose all the time. I want your kids to lose all the time. But when you lose as much as I've lost, you know how to handle it. I know how to take failure, and I know how to learn from it, and I know how to be better the next day. I know how to show up tomorrow and be a little bit better than I was yesterday. And the reason is because when I lost, I didn't get a trophy. Because when I lost, Donnie McLaughlin would have Donnie McLaughlin was my wrestling coach. And when I lost, or when I placed third in a tournament, Donnie McLaughlin would come into the locker room and he'd grab the trophy. He'd say, "Oh, Anthony Pazziali, third place." He'd be like, "Anthony Pazziali, great job, Anthony. You did third place. You're so great." And then he would take the trophy and he'd fucking smash it. He'd be like, "This is bullshit." He'd chuck it. He'd throw the fucking scale. "You're a bum." And he'd call you one. Because it shouldn't have been third place, because you should have worked hard enough to win. But I didn't. And I didn't win. And the coach let me know it. And he said, "Third place is shit." And he smashed the trophy. Same thing at my house. You go to my house, the third place trophies don't get on the mantle. You think fucking third place trophies get on the mantle? No, they don't. Not at Stan Pazziali's house. You're either first place or you're not. The only trophy I had on the mantle, my brother Jesse had trophies. My brother Mike took up the whole fucking mantle because he had trophies in football, wrestling, track, everything. I had one trophy on the mantle. One trophy. And it was from the next year when I was in 7th grade. That's the only thing I had up there. The only thing my father popped up on that fucking mantle. That was it. And it was clear. When you walked into the Pazziali household, you went into Stan Pazziali's house, the first thing you fucking saw was the mantle, and you knew instantly you were a fucking bum because your brothers are better than you. And you better get out there and work your ass off and live up to that, because if you don't, you're going to be a shitbag. So it gets you better. You get motivated to work harder, to be better, to prove yourself, to win, to become a big contributor to society, as opposed to just getting handouts and taking from people and thinking that hard work doesn't matter. Hard work is everything. You have got to put in the time if you want to be successful. If you're cool with just making $18 an hour and floating through life, fine. No big deal. But stay the hell away from me. Don't give my kid a participation trophy. As a matter of fact, when my son was playing soccer, end of the season, this was one of those leagues that I couldn't even stand because they didn't keep score. Drove me nuts. I used to bitch all the time. I'm like, I don't understand why you guys don't keep score. The kids aren't learning a fucking thing. Oh, they're here to learn how to play soccer. Bro, my kid's not here to learn how to play soccer. My kid is here to understand that in life, you either are the winner or you're the loser. And if you win, you get the spoils. And if you lose, you get shit. You get nothing. That's it. That's what I want my kid to learn. So at the end of the year, they start passing out all these trophies. And they're all participating there. Thanks for showing up. Dad, thanks for paying for your kid to play trophies. And they're doing team photos. And I took my kid's trophy and I fucking threw it in the trash. I wish I could go find the photo, because all the kids have a trophy. My son has this look on his face. Like he looks like the world just ended. Like he looked like someone just killed his mom, because he's in the photo, no trophy. I was like, give me that fucking thing. Threw that shit in the trash. And I told him, I said, bud, it's not enough to just show up. It's not enough to be here every single day. You have to be here, and you have to work hard. You have to be dedicated. You have to push yourself. You have to push your teammates. You have to win to get the trophy. You have to win. And I think my son uses that in life. I mean, he gets in my son wants to be an auto mechanic. And sometimes he might take it to the extreme, because he's in auto mechanic class and he comes home, he's like, oh, Dad, the other kids don't want to work. And I'm like, hey, bud, listen, don't worry about what the other kids are doing. You just worry about you. No Joe worries about no Joe, and don't worry about the other kids. You better yourself every day. If they don't want to be better, they don't have to. And you know what's great about that? That's what you want. Let the competition suck. Don't push them. Fuck the competition. Let them suck and fade away. So this is simple. This is great. Participation trophies, hand-me-outs, things like this, they ruin our country because they take competition away. Why would anybody strive to innovate if they weren't pushed to? Why would we strive to invent new things and come up with better ways to run the world and come up with better things and to be better people if we weren't pushed, if there wasn't a reward at the end? Think about that. If everything was just given to you, if life was just easy, I mean, it'd be great if life was just easy. Wouldn't it? Be great. Oh, I just wake up. Personally, I like the grind. I like the fight. It's an important part of our culture to fight and to work hard and to better ourselves and to go after that reward, to have something to chase. The reward, the trophy, the money, the status, whatever it is, it's something to chase. It's something to better yourself, to be a better person, to help society. When everybody just wins, nobody works hard and nobody cares. It's as simple as that. It's very simple. All right, guys, thanks for listening.